food allergies. I'm allergic to eggs and nuts. I'm allergic to eggs, but I'm not allergic to chicken, which is kind of weird, you know? Someone points to an egg, like, can you eat this? Not yet. I'm pretty racially ambiguous. You know, some people think I'm Hispanic. I've got Native American. My dog thinks I'm half black, half white. You know, colorblind. Anyway, yeah, so I'm half Asian and I'm half Jewish. You know, something that's weird about that is I never know if I'm Asian enough or Jewish enough to get offended when someone says something insensitive about those groups. You know what I mean? Like, someone will say something offensive toward Asians and I don't get offended. I'll just scan the room for a more Asian. It's like, yo, Ching Chong, you gonna take this shit? Like, I don't know if I'm Asian enough to be saying Ching Chong. You know? Your reaction, maybe not. We'll revise that one. Milk, guys, I was going to the fridge, getting some milk. Big old gallon of milk, full of milk. And it was really upsetting because it was like, it expired the next day. So I called my brother, I was like, we gotta drink all this milk before it expires. And he was like, Justin, that's the sell-by date. And I was like, that's even worse, you know? How am I gonna find a buyer in that short of a time? You know, I'm actually on the run from Stop and Shop right now. They were pissed when I couldn't move the product. Don't shop there, they'll just rope you into a milk dealing operation. Yeah, I'm in college. College is cool, you know, because like I don't have to drive. I hate driving. Part of the reason I hate driving is I have OCD, which makes you worry about real irrational things, right? So what would happen to me is I'd be driving and I'd hit a bump and I'd be like, that's a pothole. But then 20 minutes later I'd be like, shit, or a small child. Who knows? And, you know, part of the uncertainty there is I don't know what it feels like to run someone over with a car. You know, like, I feel like I should do it on purpose once, just for a better reference. This is what it feels like, yeah. I think I'm good for yesterday. But yeah, one thing about OCD, a lot of times people get really worried that they possess these traits, like these terrible traits that their behavior doesn't actually reflect, right? So I've been worried before that I'm a murderer, that I'm a racist, you know? And like, I remember telling my therapist, like, I was worried I was a racist. And like, as a therapist for OCD, you're supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe you are, you're gonna have to deal with that uncertainty. But mine at the time was like, racists are pretty confident. You're a hesitant guy. I guess I don't have the balls to be racist. You're right. My bias. Thanks a lot, doctor. But yeah. It's you know, it's weird having OCD, you know, it's an anxiety disorder, but like, when I'm doing poorly with it, you know, like my social anxiety goes down. It's like, the stakes are just so much different, you know, it's like if I'm worrying about like, the mother of the dead child I ran over, it's hard to be like, I hope they like me. Like, I don't know, I've got other things to worry about. And I'll give you an example, like, this one time I was at school, and I pooped, you know, that's what people do, you know, I was pooping, and I came in, I washed my hands, but at this point in time, like, I had real bad contamination OCD, and I was like, afraid I was going to touch other people, get them dirty, and they would die, you know, and so I didn't feel like I washed my hands thoroughly enough, so I was like, I gotta go back. So before that happens, you know, a pretty lady high-fived me, so, oh man, hey, wash your hands. She was like, why do you want me to wash my hands? I was like, be funny, I don't know. And I was like, eventually, I was like, alright, I don't care what you think of me. I pooped, I didn't wash my hands, and I was on your hands, and you might die, you know? And, so we had sex later that night. She was pretty into butt stuff, you know? Okay, guys, so like, you know, sometimes I get lazy, you know, making sentences, you know, putting all the words together. So, you know, I've developed some stock phrases, you know. I like to say rickets a lot, you know, it's just like, you know, I haven't said it in a while, I'll just be like, rickets, 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 you know. And, you know, I really like the word. Turns out it's a pediatric disease. You don't get enough vitamin C, and then you're like prone to seizures. But I was like too deep down the rickets rabbit hole. I was still saying like, rickets, rickets, rickets. You know, and like, I don't know any of the here have rickets? Oh, you were lying. You're a jerk. You know, it's a real disease. How dare you treat it like that? Anyway, yeah, I like to say, you know, I'll leave you guys with this one last, stock phrase. I also like to say, chicken and cheese a lot. Chicken and cheese, that's a good thing to say when you just don't want to answer the question. My parents are nice parents, and sometimes they'll be like, how are you doing? I'll be like, chicken and cheese, They'll be like, we don't know what that means. Like, how are you doing? Like, how's your mental health? And I'm like, rickets. They're like, what's wrong with you? All right, hey, thanks, guys.